Undoubtedly, you're all looking forward to your careers. You're preparing right now for careers in law, medicine, public policy, teaching, business, research, communications, etc., etc., etc. But how will you reconcile your careers to your faith? How will you reconcile your pursuit of the American dream with the nightmare experienced by the rest of the world? There's a quote from John Ortberg that I like to read about career versus calling. I think we as the Christian community believe that God calls us to a life of service. Well, calling is different from a career. Listen to what Ortberg says. American society does not talk much about calling anymore. It's more likely to think in terms of career. Yet for many people, a career becomes the altar on which they sacrifice their lives. A calling, which is something I do for God, is replaced by a career which threatens to become my God. A career is something I choose for myself. A calling is something I receive. A career is something I do for myself. A calling is something I do for God. A career promises status, money, or power. A calling generally promises difficulty and even some suffering, and the opportunity to be used by God. A career is about upward mobility. A calling generally leads to downward mobility. Now, I'm not suggesting tonight that you should forsake your careers, but I am suggesting that a successful career should not be your goal, your end goal. Your life goal should be to serve Christ and to love the world and your fellow man as he does. And your career is only a means to that end. A means to that end. Mother Teresa once said, God did not call me to be successful. He called me to be obedient. Well, let me tell you something I suspect that no one else in your circle is telling you. God is not impressed with a degree from Harvard. God is not impressed with a degree from Harvard. Just about everybody else is, including me, who went to Cornell and has an inferiority complex. God is impressed as he looks into the character of your hearts and he sees the depth of your obedience and commitment to him and to your fellow man. So what does God expect of all of you? I think you all know that it's nothing less than a full and total commitment. You're each called to be agents of change in the world for Christ. You are called to be tangible evidence of this kingdom of God that we read about in the Scriptures. A kingdom characterized by love, by sacrifice, by forgiveness, by justice, by concern for the poor. A kingdom that turns the world's values upside down and inside out. You're called to embrace the whole gospel and not some anemic and watered-down gospel with a hole in it. You're called to ask the question, what would Jesus do? And then go and do it. 26,000 children don't have to die every day. You can change that. It's up to you, and it's up to us. You are nothing less than God's plan to change the world. You are God's plan A, and he doesn't have a plan B. That, my friends, is what God expects of each of you. Thank you very much I went very long, but thank you for your attention.